This is Megan with Agents of Change Social Work Test Prep, and this is a re-record updated social work shorts on transference versus countertransference, which is a concept and a topic that you definitely want to have a handle on, no matter what level of licensure test you are preparing for. So, we are going to just do some very brief definitions. I'm going to give you a memory trick and some ways to process when transference or countertransference might be coming up. So what is transference? The definition is a redirection of a client's feelings onto the therapist or clinician. Transference may come out in both positive and negative ways. So this may be that the client has underlying issues with their mother, but they are coming out and being transferred onto you. Or maybe they have very positive feelings towards their, let's say, sibling or mother, and you remind the client of that person and it's coming out in a positive way. So it's that redirection of their feelings or stuff that's coming up for them that's being redirected from the client to the therapist or the clinician. What are some examples here? I just gave some, but another example, a client becomes angry at you during a session when discussing their toxic relationship with their spouse. Maybe something came up for them, maybe something was under there that was not processed, or something was triggered. Another example, a client tells you she feels calm after sessions because you remind her of her mother, right? That could be more of a positive way that transference is coming out. And I just want to preface this entire lecture by saying it's not a good or a bad thing. It's how you react to feelings of transference or countertransference that's important. But we are human beings. Feelings are going to come up. Memories are going to come up. Things are going to come up. So this is a part of the therapeutic process. Then our second term is countertransference. What is countertransference? The definition is a redirection of a therapist's feelings towards or about a client. Therapists may be experiencing countertransference if they have boundary issues with the client. It does not necessarily mean that this is the only time that you might be experiencing countertransference, but it's inevitable, like I just mentioned with transference. It may even occur without us being aware. Countertransference may come up that you're just feeling a certain way after you have a session with the client, or your client reminds you of someone, right? These are part of the human experiences. So, like I mentioned, it's how we handle it that's going to be most important. What are some examples of countertransference? A therapist may be reacting more positively towards a client that reminds them of a close friend, or maybe they just really enjoy this client, right? We have some clients that are a joy to work with. We have others that bring up some more feelings of maybe resentment or anger in us. Those are examples of countertransference. This is an example of countertransference. A therapist feels inadequate when working with a challenging client, right? Maybe you're feeling imposter syndrome. Maybe you're feeling stuck. Maybe you're feeling incompetent. Or if this is a very common one too, you're feeling down or depressed after sessions with a depressed client. Maybe some of what was going on in the session is transferring over to how you are interacting after the session. So here's my memory trick, and I still use this. I think I was introduced to this in grad school. But for transference, the letter starts with T. So this is how I remember it. Feelings redirected to the therapist. So transference to the therapist, countertransference, this is the letter C. Memory trick here, redirected to the client. This is very easy. This is how I remember it. Transference, feelings transferred to the therapist. Countertransference, feelings transferred onto the client. Very easy memory trick to remember. So this happens. I don't want newer clinicians to think that I'm experiencing this. This is terrible. I'm not equipped to do this. Give yourself some grace. We are human beings. Of course, these types of things are going to come up, but it's important just to recognize and realize it. You don't want to avoid it. You don't want to act as if it's not happening. So realize it and address it because they do happen. And this is very, very, very important that maybe you're processing this with a supervisor or a colleague, but it is important if it's coming up for you that you're discussing it with someone in a professional capacity. If it's appropriate, you could bring it up with the client, like what's going on here. They might bring it up for you, but these are really important things that we process. We figure out what the root of it is, and then from there, we respond in a way that's appropriate and it's going to be beneficial to the therapeutic relationship. So that was a very quick rundown of some basic topics, transference and countertransference. If you're looking for more content, agentsofchangeprep.com is where all of our materials are. We have something for everyone, so please, please, please check it out. Our resources have grown immensely over the years, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at agentsofchangeprep@gmail.com. And of course, I want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you're looking for when new videos come out. And remember, you got this. You're taking the right steps towards your licensure or whatever it is that is the next step in your career. Thank you.